Hello to all of you. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Sean Allen, and I'm an assistant professor of social work here at Concord, and I'm also the director of field education here at Concord. If you haven't been in one of my classes before, we may have worked together through some stuff with field. I thank you all for being in this class, for deciding that you take one of my electives. I very much so enjoy teaching the electives and look forward to working with each of you for this brief 5-week summer term. Man, it goes by fast. So anyway, this opening video is for Social Work 660, the Contemporary Ethical Issue course. This is a course that I designed, and this is actually the first time I've taught it in a summer session, so I've had to take some of it and condense it down to make sure you all still get, all the content and everything that you need, but in a much shorter time frame. So I always do one of these videos normally just to kind of talk briefly about my expectations for the course and what things you can expect. So I just wanted to kind of tell you all where you can find some different things in the class, and also let you know that I'm here for you to support you in however I can. So if you're in Blackboard, of course, on the side there, the left, you have all your different tabs. You'll see a lot of different things there. Of course, under the syllabus tab, of course, there's a syllabus. Also under welcome and start here, and that's another place to look. There's also the syllabus there, as well as the link to the NASW Code of Ethics. That is extremely important for this class, is the Code of Ethics. And also under the welcome and start here tabs, there's also the rubrics for the major project in this class, which is the Contemporary Ethical Issue Project. It's broken into 2 parts, and we'll talk a little bit about that here as we go too. I don't have the text here in front of me. I apologize for that, but be sure you've picked up the text for the class. It's just basically a book of case studies, and I think you'll very much enjoy it. What I did was, instead of requiring all 15 case studies that are in the text for the class, I chose one per week, and I tried to offer some diversity through that, so and get you some different kinds of cases to look at. But the reading for the course really is, you're looking at these cases, and then in discussion forums you're going to talk about these cases and what ethical issues you saw and how basically you would react to those as a worker and what would you do. So anyway, so that's that. So if you've got that text, fantastic. If you don't, be sure to get it. It's listed on the bookstore's website. It's also in the syllabus and all the information you need in order to get it. Actually, here it is. Here it is. I found it. Decision Cases for Advanced Social Work Practice. This is actually what the book looks like. So lucky enough, it was sitting right behind me. But anyway, there's that. So be sure you have a copy of that. So if you look at the modules, they're all very similar, except for the final module. Every single module is due on Sunday nights. Basically, a module equals a week in the class, so modules are 1 week in length. Every Sunday night, basically, they're due. The very last module, Module 5, will be due on the last Friday of classes, because that's, of course, the last day that classes are, so I can't, extend deadlines past that. But if you look at Module 1, for example, the first thing you'll see is just like an overview for the module. You will also see the first discussion forum is there. You're to read the case number 1 in the text, which is called No Place Like Home. Then you answer the discussion questions. Each module has a discussion, and be sure that you do a good initial post where you talk about the case, you talk about what you saw, you give your insights, you talk about how you would handle the situation, and also be sure that you respond to 2 colleagues' posts. That is the absolute easiest way to lose points in this course, is not responding to your colleagues or not doing the full post. So if you do everything, you'll do pretty well on the posts. In this course, there's also 3 ethics quizzes, okay? And the first of those are in Module 1, and those are all related to the Code of Ethics, okay? So Module 1, you do 1 discussion post, you do 1 quiz, and you do the reading. I mean, there's you can't beat that. In Module 2, you will do another discussion forum, just like we talked about. You'll read Case 4, called Believing Women. Also in Module 2, remember, this is week Number 2, so we're only 2 weeks away from this, guys. The first part 1 of the project for this class will be due. Um, and the project's called the Contemporary Ethical Issue Project. Part 1 is you're actually identifying the issue that you're going to be discussing for the class, okay? So what you're going to have to do is go and pick an ethical issue that you either have encountered in practice or that you might encounter in practice and talk about that issue and why that it's important. The rubric for grading of that is there for you, and the way you're going to be graded on that is, have you identified an appropriate issue? Did you conduct research to explain the issue? You didn't just say, well, my issue is euthanasia, and you didn't tell us why that's an issue, and you didn't research it. Did you use scholarly articles in this research? Okay, you didn't use Wikipedia or something like that, of course. And is it written in APA format? So basically, guys, what you're going to do is you're going to pick an issue, and you can read here also the criteria for it. It can be based around social justice, anything that could be an ethical issue for social work practice. Like in rural areas, for example, dual relationships is a big problem. You could pick that and do something with that. You could do something with informed consent. I mean, there's lots of different things you could do, but you have to pick an ethical issue, something you may encounter in practice or have encountered in practice or what have you, and talk about why that's an important issue for your practice here in rural areas. And you're going to show that through doing a little bit of research and documenting that appropriately. Now, guys, you don't have to write a huge paper for this. I mean, honestly, 2 or 3 pages will be fine. Just be sure it's well written, that you explain well, why your issue is an issue, and that you do it in APA format. Okay, so those are the 3 things. That'll be worth 50 points. All right, so in Module 3 then, we will be back to, I'm using the computer, having it load here and tell you as I go, so that's why you're getting the pauses. In Module 3, again, you do another case and you do the second ethics quiz. That's pretty self-explanatory, pretty simple. All right. In Module 4, you do another case, but you will. This is where you will do the second part and submit the second part of the class project, and this is where actually you're going to write your own case study. And what you're going to do is you are going to take the ethical issue that you picked, okay? And this is why it's important to pick something good, something that's important to you, because you're going to have to write basically a mock case situation surrounding that issue, okay? So on the rubric, what we have for this is you develop a case study using a practical situation, okay? Now you can even technically, if you wanted to use a situation that's happened in practice before, you could totally do that. There just can't be any identifying information. You need to make sure that there's ethical dilemmas in the study and that those are identified. Okay, so you're going to write your case study. You're then going to define the ethical dilemmas that are in that case study. I want you, something that you're going to have to do is also explain the view of the client as well as your own view. Okay. So what I mean by that is, say you're writing a case study, and say you have this ethical dilemma. A client comes to you, say they want to do something, or they okay, a good example would be abortion. All right, say a client comes to you and they want to have an abortion, and that may be something that is controversial for you personally. So what you would have to do is explain, how you would handle that. Also, you have to talk about, here is where this is an ethical issue for you, but also you have to talk about that issue from the client's point of view. Why is this something they want to do? And I just choose abortion because that's of course, a hot topic, but there could be lots of different things. Okay, you could use, I think we mentioned euthanasia earlier. Right to die is an issue you could use in this project. I mean, all those sorts of things, guys. But the key is, as part of the case study, you write it, but you also make sure that you talk about what that client or that other person that you're dealing with point of view is as well. Because one thing we have to do is, even if we don't agree with somebody on something, we have to try to at least understand their point of view and be respectful to that, because our clients have self-determination, right? So another piece of the rubric is you offer a solution, what you would do to try to handle the situation, and also, of course, that you've used APA formatting and all that kind of stuff like you always do. Now, in that, of course, I mean, I know the APA formatting, it may be a little more difficult to do because you are basically writing just a case situation, but be sure that it's well written. Okay, so and then in module 5, you'll do your last discussion post and the last quiz for the course. Okay, so there's really not a ton here. I mean, the things that are here, make sure you do very well because I take all these assignments very seriously. Again, with the discussion posts, be sure you do those well and accurately. With the quizzes, they're all related to the Code of Ethics, so use the Code of Ethics and you'll be fine on that. And with the project, the 2 parts, make sure you pick a good issue, something you're passionate about and you really want to use, because remember, you're going to have to write that case study based around it as well. So I guess that's kind of it. But please know that I'm here to answer any questions. Of course, with it being summer, I won't be in the office physically as much. But one of the best ways to get a hold of me always is through email. I don't care a lot for course messenger and all that stuff. I really like email because it makes sure I don't miss you. So if you send me an email, if you would, in the subject put, what course you're emailing me about, and let me know your question, and I normally get back to you at the latest within a day, usually. Now, if it's the weekend, it may take a little longer than that. I have an 8-month-old at home, and he requires a lot of my attention on the weekend. But my email is, of course, it's in the syllabus, but it's rallen@concord.edu. All right, guys. Well, listen, I really look forward to working with you throughout this 5 weeks. It'll move fast, so don't get behind. Be sure to stay on top of everything. And absolutely the best of luck to all of you this semester.